School of Investment brings you an update on a highly controversial topic: why Americans love Trump and what are his chances to win the 2024 election. The rise of Trump's popularity in America is fascinating. To fully comprehend this, we must first understand the reasons behind the love for the 45th President of the United States. One of the reasons why people love Trump is his bold and unconventional nature. He is not afraid to speak his mind, and his unapologetic way of addressing sensitive issues, even with world leaders, has caught the attention of many Americans who have a strong feel like they're not being heard ever. For instance, he just said in his Republican GOP campaign trail, which is reminiscent of his personality, that if he is there as president, then Ukraine conflict can end in 1 minute. Second is such a brave thing to say is U.S. media is not free. These statements may not go well to some, but this is the kind of thing people in U.S. wants to listen. In addition, Trump is known for his fiery speeches that raise passionate emotions in his supporters. Also, Trump was always visionary. He says that he is vying for 10 freedom cities on federal lands. Also, he is talking about flying cars culture. Trump says that era of flying mobility should come first in U.S. before it comes in China. Such a thing to say will bring joy among U.S. car producers of all types. The Teslas, Rivians, Toyotas, Nissan, General Motors, Ford, NIO, etc. This is joyous for markets as well. Another reason why Trump remains popular among all Republican candidates is his policies. He has championed many policies that resonate with the average Americans since inflation was relatively lower in his era than in today's hard times of President Joe Biden. For average Americans, for instance, his policies on immigration, gun control, and pro-life have struck a chord with his conservative base or the typical Tea Party support. But they equally arouse outrage among liberal opponents and Democrats and their supportive media corporations like CNN. For corporate elite and multi-billion conglomerate base, Donald Trump was a blessing. President Trump gave tax cuts. He reduced corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, a great service to rich elite oil magnates. This boosted their profits. It was actually Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was signed by President Trump into the law in 2017. For instance, ExxonMobil Corporations, a super oil major, reported net income of $20.8 billion in 2018 as against figures of net income reported in 2016, which was mere $7.8 billion in 2016 before the act period. Another case in point is that of another big hydrocarbon major called Halliburton, with close connections to former Republican presidents. Halliburton, whose profitability was $1.7 billion in 2018, nearly doubled from 2017. Halliburton reported a loss of $6.7 billion in 2016. Hence, policies did favor big corporations. And the list goes on and on for corporations. One such case was the steel giant Nucor. Nucor profitability doubled to $2.4 billion in 2018. The profitability of Nucor was protected due to Trump policies, which included regulatory policies. Nucor profitability was mere $900 million only in 2016 before the Tax Act. So you can see quite a surge came in some of the biggest corporates such as ExxonMobil, Halliburton, or Nucor, some of the examples of big American corporations that somehow may or may not have big influence on the outcome of the elections. Trump infuriated many key American ally nations, such as rolling back environmental regulations which related to carbon emissions that ostensibly supported many oil and coal companies, often in contravention with environment. But on the other hand, it also helped bigger profits for super major oil companies and may be saving the jobs of average Americans at coal mines, tar sands, shipping ports. Trump also made trade policies which favored U.S. as against traditional friends. One was smacking at the back of North America Free Trade Agreement, the NAFTA. He is one of the protagonists who always trumpeted to support American corporations of steel and aluminum against neighborly states such as Canada and crafty Mexico. He actually angered NAFTA friends and even proposed to build a wall on Mexican borders to stop immigration for poor Mexicans. Initially, we saw Indian caucus support for Trump before 2016 presidential elections, such as Nikki Haley, but in actual President Trump stripped off H-1 visas schemes which directly knocked out many Indian software engineers from U.S. Also, President Trump called for charging money for U.S. military bases in friendly states of South Korea and also Okinawa, Japan. He publicly said this many times that America should charge for services on mealy bases. Nonetheless, Trump's business acumen and his willingness to inject businesses thinking into the government have also insinuated him to Americans. They believe that his experience in the private sector will help steer U.S. to more prosperity. Trump was mostly a property tycoon historically by birth, a kind of billionaire himself and also owner of big hotel buildings at Manhattan, New York, which included Trump Tower to name a few, amid close connections with rich Qataris. His philanthropist model daughter Ivanka and son Donald Jr. remained in the news. Also, his last ramp model wife Melania Trump remained on his side till the end despite being a bit uneasy at times. Nevertheless, many left-leaning media like CNN remained against Trump's popularity. On his pronouncements, CNN remained a nuisance, and people know that. However, his response to criticism has always been in line with his bold nature. At times, Trump stumbles given views on pandemic which enveloped the world in 2020 and the doctor who was in charge of Trump administration, Dr. Fauci, much chastised. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What are his chances of winning the 2024 presidential elections? It's no doubt that the Republican Party or the GOP views Trump as their golden ticket. Trump has made indications that he may run for the 2024. Trump's chances of winning is huge since Biden admin is facing worst inflation in U.S. history. Many ordinary Americans are facing heat of inflation. The Fed is continuously increasing interest rates to control the impact of inflation. The current Fed rate range of 4.5% to 4.75% can go as high as 5.25% in following FOMC meetings in 2023 to rein in inflation, which is 6.4% in January as per U.S. Labor Department. On the other hand, voters will remember inflation in Trump administration was low. It was 2.1% in 2017 and then 1.9% in 2018, which was below Fed target rate of 2%. Hence, chances of winning Trump are not slim at all. He has built a strong political base, and his supporters continue to back him even after his presidency tenure. Despite the fact that we see some harsh coverage against Trump in mainstream media and among Bloomberg participants, we still see people on streets have a different opinion, which is based on traditional conservatism, white Christians, evangelists, as well as Fox TV lovers too. Trump's ability to polarize the electorate can work in his favor. Recent polls suggest that he has high approval ratings among the conservatives. However, the 2024 elections are still far, and a lot could change between now and then. His controversies, his policies, and his age could work against him. In conclusion, Trump's popularity in America stems from his bold, unconventional nature and policies, amongst other things. And based on his approval ratings among Republicans, his chances of winning the 2024 elections are decent. Donald Trump is a leader who speaks his mind with clarity and his own way of conviction. He is known for his confident personality and an unwavering stance on various issues, which resonates with the common American. Additionally, his promise to make America great again gave hope to many Americans who felt lost and forgotten by their regime. Furthermore, his experience as a realtor and an amazing reality TV star gave him the platform to reach out to the potential voters and connect with them like President Ronald Reagan did, another Republican. The 2024 election is a hot topic at TV talk shows, and Donald Trump's chances of winning are high. This time, inflation-marred Americans may be in the mood to bring back Donald Trump. With all our support for Great America, we conclude our video expecting you must have liked it.